Yeah. People still use camcorders?
I was at my sister's graduation over the weekend, and my brother had a camcorder in the stands, and he was like such a big dork.
What are those?
Yeah. I was looking for a fanny pack on him or something. But yeah, anyways, so.
I'm not even kidding. I've told my friend because he's like my friend's gonna bring his this. He's just gonna chill with it, but he's also gonna record with it too.
Okay.
So it's gonna be fun. Just like
Cool.
well, we're having fun time.
All right. So, what are some questions you can hit me with? What's not making sense?
Sorry. Okay. So for mine, I was going over it this weekend. I was listening to the thing, and when I was trying to do the ERP measurements, I have one specifically labeled bins, which is the ones where they've been binned and everything. Like they've had the bin operations put on them and everything. And it keeps saying that it's not the right, they're not from the same experiment or something. That's what I keep
Probably
hearing.
you don't have the same number of bins.
Yeah, or something like that. The only one I ever had that problem with was number 10, and I redid it. So, but yeah, it's saying that it's not from the same experiment.
Okay, so that sounds like an individual issue on your actual data. Let me work with you on that individually. I'll sort that error out. I was thinking more about things and issues about how to do something or whatever that might be a little bit more broad enough that can suit everyone during the actual class discussion. Yes?
I was going to comment on her issue actually.
Oh, okay.
Because I was going over it too, and I had to do some, but I found out there was the brain locations, they were all titled D instead of the F,
That's-
T, C, D, they were all D.
Yeah, there's one particular subject that is D.
Yeah, I think there was 2 or 3.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, you can basically ignore those and throw those out.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yep.
You could still say D though.
Yeah, so if you talk to her later, I'm sure she'll tell you those exact subject numbers. Yep. There's a way that we can work around that, but it sounds like everyone is overwhelmed enough as it is, and it's easier to just say, let's put those on the side for now,
That's what I
rather than I can give you a totally fine workaround and be like, okay, so do this and this and this, and it's fine. But I just want to make it simple right now and say, you know what, let's hold off on those 3. Yeah. Okay. Brittany, you had questions earlier. In the beginning of class that I said to wait and
The two tests
yeah.
for the behavioral part, and I wanted to know if we had to report both of those because I have 4 columns because I'm comparing 4 and 5, familiar and recollection. So I wanted to know because I have 2 tests, do I have to report those?
Yeah, okay, so let me see if I can draw this out for you. See if you can correct me if I'm misrepresenting this. So, in Excel, you have basically column, you said you have how many columns?
4.
2, 3, and 4. Okay. And what are they?
Source correct and source unknown. So 4 and 5.
Okay, so you have source correct, source unknown. What are the other 2?
Okay, it's basically I5SU, I4SU, I4SC, I5SC. So basically it's source correct 4,
Okay.
source correct 5.
So item plus with a 4, item with a 4, that was correct, that was unknown. Item with a 5, that was source correct. And then item with a 5, that was source unknown. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you have these columns, these conditions. And this was for, what was your dependent measure here?
My dependent measure? No, my dependent
Is this
measure-
behavior or
Oh, this is
physiology?
behavior.
Okay, so this is then reaction time?
Mhm.
Okay, so these are all reaction. Okay, and then presumably you have this column here, which are your subject numbers, right?
Right.
Okay, so you have data that kind of looks like this grid. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, now what's the exact question?
I just wanted to know if we had to report both the t-tests like both of them, like how would you go about reporting that?
What are the two t-tests that you ran?
It goes to 2, and then it says I5 SU, and then it's basically just showing the source unknown, the 4 and 5 together, and the 5 and 4
Okay,
and 5
so when you
together.
run a t-test, you can only compare one column to another column, right? And so, what's the first t-test you ran? Which two
The
columns?
source unknown, 5 and 4.
So you compared this one
2 and 4.
to that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you grab these, and you basically did a t-test between this data, these two data, right?
Right.
Okay. So yes, you would report that.
Okay, so I would report it that way, right? But how for my ERP, it was only 2 columns because it's bin 102 and bin 103, which they are together, but I just don't know how to, I guess, report it right, I guess, or maybe I did.
Okay, so these are going to be your reaction times, right? And now you're saying that you also have a table over here of your ERP amplitudes, right? Where you're going to have item 4 and source unknown, and item 5 with source unknown, right? And your subject number. And it kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
And you're going to run a t-test comparing these as well. Okay, and the question is, would you report the results of those?
I got like stuck because there was like 2 and 4, and like it was just very weird to me. But I'm thinking because those bins are together, it's kind of the same.
I'm not sure.
I can clarify what
Could you?
she's trying
Okay.
to say. Per ERP data, when you take the bins in MATLAB, 4 and 5 are combined for source unknown, and then it's 4 and 5 source correct. So that's what her question is. When it comes out, it's just those 2
I
columns
see.
and how to.
So, okay, that's a really good question. You're grabbing the wrong bins, is the short answer. And I'll help you get the right ones.
Okay.
So there's 400 some odd bins or something, right, that we made?
Yeah.
And that's because so I created these bins like you said, but then I also created ones that collapsed the 4s and the 5s. Remember we talked about that earlier as hits?
Okay.
And I wanted to say, okay, well let's look at what if we wanted to look at the data as the hits based on whether I got the source correct or the source incorrect, regardless of separating out the item confidence. So you just grabbed the wrong bin numbers by accident. That's an easy thing to sort out. I can come back to you individually, and I'll just show you exactly which ones to do.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Super good. What else we got? You guys, everybody's got it down good? All right, hit me. I'm here to help. Yeah.
For the behavior data, when we're doing the error bars and we're looking at our 2 different conditions, like let's just say something simple as like hits and miss, right? I guess I'm just kind of confused in the Excel of how to go about it, and how to do it.
How to create the error bars?
Yeah, how to like the graphing part.
Okay, the graphing part. Let's see if I can help. So we're in Excel, and we want to create. Let's see here. So we have some group data here. Okay, and so this is. I'll just do this again here. Turn this. You guys want to hit the lights off and back? Okay, so you asked about how to make a graph in Excel,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So, let's say that, so remember I told you just a moment ago that I've already calculated accuracy, hits minus false alarms for you? It's right here basically in column G. Okay? So just a little heads up there. So let's say that we want to compare a graph for one of these. And let's say we go over here to reaction times for, let's say, well, it's easier to do one of these for right now. Let's just say we're going to actually graph the accuracy of hits to false alarms. Okay? Just for a comparison. And stop, is this a question that you're asking about how to make a graph?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's real easy. Okay? What you need to do for the graph is you need to know the average information of these conditions, right? And that average is at the bottom of the sheet, which is right here. Right? That's our mean and standard deviation. Or just our mean. Hits, false alarms, that's our mean. So that's all you need. So all you do is you just grab that information in Excel, you highlight those two, you go to the menu option for insert, you click the picture for vertical bar graph, you grab that top left 2D column version, and now you just clean up the figure. You get rid of those horizontal grid lines, and that's it. That's how you make the graph. Now you want to fix up your title, you want to increase your font size on the X and Y axes. You want to create label axes. Okay, and the way that you do that is, let's see here. You can go to add chart element, and it'll say, for example, add chart element, axes titles, horizontal and vertical axes, and it'll tell you, and you'll be able to type it in. If you want to create error bars, okay, you're going to select this option. Okay, say error bars, and you're going to select the one for all the way at the bottom, more error bar options. Okay, you're going to hit OK there, and you're going to scroll down to this option all the way at the bottom. We're not going to do any of their options that they give us, but instead we're going to select the very bottom one here for custom, and we're going to hit specify. So when we do that, hit custom, specify, and by specify, it's going to give us this little menu up here. Okay, that tells us that we need to put the information into each of these cells for what the positive and the negative error bars are going to be for these respective conditions. Now we want the standard error, and that's what we've calculated already, the SE. So you're just going to grab these two there. So it's real easy, and they're going to be the same for the top and the bottom. So here I'm just going to highlight the bottom. You can hit the tab key or just type in to this next negative error field view. Just select the same data again and hit OK. Now you have your error bars. It's nice in this example because they're nice and tiny, which is really nice. That's as easy as it is.
And then can you do the same for like the t-test?
Wait, positive error value is the standard error?
I'm sorry?
For when you're putting in the error values, positive is
The standard error is the same for both the positive and the negative value.
oh, okay. So it's
Just like the same ones.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to review how to do a t-test again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, so let's see. Do a t-test again, and the way that we'll do this. So we just did that compared to these two conditions, and we want to know. Actually, you know what I'll do? Since I promised this a moment ago, I said I'd show you how to do a t-test and compare if your accuracy was above chance performance, right? Why don't we do that? Okay? Because it's the same way, the same buttons to press. Okay? I'm going to grab this column here, G, because that's our accuracy, hits minus false alarms. So if your hits, 0.9 minus false alarms, 0.1. So 0.9 minus 0.1 is 0.8, right? Because that's our calculation. So we know that that's what this is showing. And this is our performance for 21 people. Okay? So what I'll do for illustrative purposes right now, let me just close out, I'll hide these other cells just to make a point. Okay. let's also hide these guys. Okay, so these are our values, right? Let's call this then chance performance. And you just put zeros. We'll just create chance performance as zeros right now. Okay. Alright, so to run a t-test, what's the first thing we got to do, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, sir. Data tab. Under the data tab, we go over here to data analysis. And click that option. You're going to select the option for a t-test, okay, which is your t-test paired to sample for means. You hit OK. It's going to ask you to put the information for the range of your first variable. The first variable here is going to be hits minus false alarms, our accuracy value. So you select those cells of all the data that you want. You then want to highlight variable 2 range. So click in that white box and grab the data for the second variable range, which is this next one, which is chance performance. So this is the zeros. The next thing you want to do is click your output range. Okay. So I click this and it's just asking, where do you want to put, what's the range of cells that you want to output your results into? You want to click inside this white window so that it's ready. Once you clicked in there, you're just going to hit the button, or hit a spot that you want to put it in. Okay? And I click this cell so it's here, and it gives you all your information. Okay? So I went through that fast because this is like the 4th or 5th time we've gone through this process. We spent a lot of time going through it at first. So I'm just kind of breezing through it now because you guys are with the program now. And so it gives us our information from the first variable and the second. The first one was, of course, our accuracy. And our second variable, of course, was chance performance. Okay? So our average of our first variable was about a 71% accuracy rate. Of course, our average of chance at 0 was 0, for obvious reasons. What we wanted to know, right, was, first of all, this is our sample size, 21 subjects for this particular example. Our degrees of freedom was 1 minus the sample size, or the sample size minus 1, that's going to be 20. And then we want to know our t-statistic, which apparently in this case is 33.7, which is gigantic. And we want to know our two-tailed p-value, which this e to the -19 means like a ton of zeros after the decimal point. So it means it's super duper significant. We can change the number formatting on that. That's just scientific notation right now. But if you get that, let me know, because right now I don't think our data is that significant. But if you find one that is, let me know, and I can show you how to change that format. And that's what you're going to report. You're going to report your means. You're going to report your variances, your standard deviations, your degrees of freedom, your t-stat, and your p-value for a two-tailed test. Sound good? Does that work for you? Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Let's see here. What else do we got? Any other questions from the weekend's work? You guys feel pretty good with stuff? Okay. I'll walk around individually and talk with you guys. I'll work with your thing, Kelsey. I'll work with yours if you need it for the bins. If anybody else needs anything, let me know. Take a break as needed. We've been here for about 2 hours now. So if you need to do that, just let me know. Or, well, don't let me know if you need to take a break. But, you know, we'll catch you up in a little bit, and then we'll start on some next sections a little bit later. Sound good? Okay.